Hello and welcome to the Foreign Correspondents Club of Japan. My name's Daniel Hurst and I'm a freelance journalist. Last week the Nobel Peace Prize was awarded to the international campaign to abolish nuclear weapons. This comes at a time of great uncertainty globally, with focus on North Korea's nuclear weapons development program, and also uncertainty over the fate of the nuclear deal with Iran. Of course, a couple of months ago, the adoption of the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons reignited the debate about how best to work towards a nuclear weapons-free world. Today we're joined by Akira Kawasaki, who's a member of the Executive Committee of the Peace Boat and a member of the International Steering Group of ICAN, the International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons. And he'll be speaking to us today about these developments and the role for Japan in these disarmament efforts. And we'll also be hearing from two hibakusha. We'll be hearing from Mr. Terumi Tanaka and Mr. Sueichi Kido. Please make sure your phones are set to silent, and we'll turn over the floor to Mr. Kawasaki. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. So I feel so honored at the Nobel Committee's decision to award this year's Nobel Peace Prize to International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons, ICAN. All of us at ICAN were so surprised and excited about this honorable award. But at the same time, we felt confident that Nobel Committee is trying to encourage the promotion of the new UN Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, so that it will become widely accepted, established legal norm to prohibit and eliminate nuclear weapons, to which we have been striving for many years. ICAN is a very broad-based international coalition of non-governmental organizations joined by more than 460 organizations from over 100 nations. And Japan-based Peace Boat is proudly participating in the leadership of that. And our main activity there is to promote the message of hibakusha from Hiroshima and Nagasaki on the humanitarian impact of nuclear weapons. Using the passenger ship voyages, Peace Boat has carried out over 100 testimony sessions, speaking to over 10,000 people around the world in the past 10 years. Together with many other hibakusha's efforts, like those made by Nihon Hidan people, who I feel honored to be present today. The recognition on the inhumanity of nuclear weapons has been widespread and made as a basis to make this historic treaty on the prohibition of nuclear weapons to become a reality on July 7th this year. So ICAN understands that this Peace Prize was given to all people who have been striving for the achievement of a nuclear weapon-free world. And also, the very fact that those hibakusha and all nuclear test survivors around the world and many other victims in each stage of nuclear weapons production and development process. All those people who have been courageously outspoken to the world about these consequences are the ones who should be firstly recognized as the real recipient of this award. The treaty is very historic and important. Firstly, it prohibits all nuclear weapons-related activities under any circumstances, without any exception. And secondly, it provides a pathway for nuclear-armed states to actually eliminate nuclear weapons under this treaty, under international monitoring and verification. And thirdly, it provides a clear obligation of international community to support all those who are affected by nuclear weapons, including the hibakusha from Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and encourages the states to work on the environmental rehabilitation of the areas that have been contaminated by nuclear weapons. So the early implementation of the treaty is a priority for the world. So for that sense, the promotion of signature and ratification of the treaty is essential. So this Nobel Peace Prize is greatly encouraging the process and urging the early signing and ratifying by all states of this prohibition treaty. Of course, we hear some very typical criticism here and there about the treaty. For example, some say that this treaty is not effective because it is not joined by nuclear-armed states. But we are confident that even without the participation of nuclear-armed states in the initial stage, political, economic, and social pressures that will be created by this treaty will actually bind the acts of nuclear-armed states and nuclear-dependent states. And thus, it would accelerate the nuclear disarmament process. And this is something we can learn from the past experience with landmines and cluster munitions and other weapons of mass destruction. It is very natural for those possessors, to resist any move to get rid of those weapons. So it's not surprising that the US, Russia, or any other governments are very much resistant at this stage, say, hey, this treaty is nonsense and so on. But it should be noted that nearly 2/3 majority of the UN member states already voted in support of the treaty. And already more than 150 nations have endorsed in the past, recently, the statements on the humanitarian impact of nuclear weapons. So if 150 nations become the real state party to the treaty, it will be a very big power to bind the nuclear-armed states, not to go further modernization of nuclear weapons, or rather to accelerate nuclear disarmament. And having said those international contexts, let me now focus on the issue of Japan. I acknowledge the press statement issued by the Foreign Ministry of Japan about this Nobel Peace Prize. But that statement didn't mention anything about the Nuclear Weapons Prohibition Treaty. And also, in the first committee of UN General Assembly, which is now being held in New York, it is expected that Japan is going to submit another draft resolution on nuclear disarmament. And reportedly, that draft resolution of Japan will not mention at all this Nuclear Weapons Prohibition Treaty. This extraordinary silence on this treaty by Japanese government is very, very disappointing and frustrating. Now, Japan is under general election, and many political parties and candidates for legislators are now debating over security issues like North Korean nuclear threats, or even changing about the Japanese peace constitution. And these issues are very much relevant to the nuclear weapons issue. For example, the North Korean issue is how to deal with the nuclear threat posed by those governments and countries. And also the issue of constitution is essentially the question how the country can and should define the concept of the right of self-defense. You know? So the Prohibition Treaty of Nuclear Weapons is very much relevant to these questions. For example, the Prohibition Treaty is a very effective tool to address the nuclear problems over Korean Peninsula. And firstly, it will make a strong norm against any use of nuclear weapons. The use of nuclear weapons will be regarded as war crime. So it will be a very important deterrent, actually, against any nuclear war coming out from this tension of the Korean Peninsula. And secondly, the Prohibition Treaty is making clear that no country has a legitimate right to develop or possess or threaten to use nuclear weapons in the name of self-defense. And also, deployment and introduction of nuclear weapons will be provided illegal. So this is very much relevant, how the arms race, nuclear arms race, are evolving over the peninsula. And thirdly, the Prohibition Treaty provides a process in which nuclear armed states, like North Korea, disarm their arsenal under international verification and monitoring, and eventually eliminate all their programs. So all in all, promoting the Nuclear Weapons Prohibition Treaty is in a very effective way, not only promote the norm, but also to deal with, to delegitimize the North Korean actions on nuclear weapons, and providing a pathway for nuclear weapon-free Northeast Asia. And it's so disappointing that most of the politicians and candidates are keeping silent on this matter while they are debating over North Korea. So I really doubt whether those people who cannot discuss nuclear weapons prohibition treaty today are eligible or capable of dealing with Japan's security. So I intend to visit all political parties during this election campaign, starting today, this evening, in the upcoming days, and in requesting in each of the political party to pick up the issue of nuclear weapons prohibition treaty and discuss the matter in this particular general election. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Kawasaki. We're next going to hear from Mr. Tanaka, who was aged 13 when he experienced the Nagasaki A-bomb in his home, a bit over 3 kilometres from the blast site. Thank you.
13歳で、被爆したということはですね、核兵器がいかに非人道的であるか、残虐な兵器であるかということを自ら体験し目撃した世代であります。ですからそういう自分の体験を通して核兵器は絶対に人類の上に再び落とされてはいけない、使われてはいけない。でそのためには核兵器を直ちに廃絶しなければいけないというのが被爆者の強い願いでありました。で、私が所属している日本被団協というのが結成されて61年になります。でこの61年間たくさんの被爆者が国内はもちろん国外に出ていって核兵器の非人道性を訴えてきました。しかし今日まで核兵器をなくすという国際的な政治がなかなか進展しないという中で、私たちは本当に焦りを感じて昨年世界に向かって核兵器禁止条約をすべての国が締結してほしいというアピールを発しました。で時あたかも、国際
失礼します。ごめんなさい。
Yes, I was 13 years of age when I experienced the nuclear bombing in my hometown of Nagasaki, and I saw with my own eyes the inhumanity and cruelty of these weapons. I experienced it for myself, and through these experiences I have called upon the world to never again drop such weapons upon human beings. They must be removed from the earth and abolished as quickly as possible. That is not only my own personal request, but also the request of all of the hibakusha. The organization to which I belong, the Hidan, the coalition, the Confederation of A and H bomb sufferers organizations, celebrated its 61st anniversary this year, and many of my fellows have given testimony both within Japan and internationally about the inhumanity of these weapons. But unfortunately, to date, we have not seen any developments in the international political stage with regards to nuclear disarmament. And in recent years, I have seen this state with more urgency and called upon last year for the world to form a treaty, nuclear abolition treaty.
国連の中でもちょうど7年ぐらい前から核兵器が非人道的な兵器であるということに注目をされて、核兵器廃絶条約への流れが大きくなってきました。そして今年の7月7日に条約が出来上がりました。私たちは本当に心から歓迎します。残念ながら日本政府が核被害国である日本政府がこの、条約の交渉会議にも参加せず、そして、条約にも署名しないという態度を取っていることは非常に、情けないというよりも怒りを感じております。で合わせて核保有国すべてがこの条約を認めていないという状況にありますので、これを私たちはさらに声を大きくして、本当に核兵器がなくなる条約に作り上げていきたいというふうに思っています。とりわけ核保有国の国民の皆さん、市民の皆さんがですね、核兵器で安全保障を保つという考え方をぜひ改めてほしい。その国が核抑止力に頼るという政策を変えてほしいという運動に広げていっていただきたい。そのためにお役に立っていただきたいと思っています。
At the United Nations, from around 7 years ago, there was increasing focus upon the humanitarian impacts of nuclear weapons, and this wave has built to the point that this year, on the 7th of July, a treaty for the prohibition of nuclear weapons was decided upon, and that's something that I welcome from the bottom of my heart. Unfortunately, the Japanese government, the government of the country, the only country that has suffered a nuclear attack, neither participated participated in the negotiations, nor will sign this treaty. I'm not only disappointed, more accurately, I am quite angry about the position of the Japanese government. I would like to call upon all nuclear states to participate in this treaty, and the fact that they are not just motivates me to raise my voice even louder to call for an end to the abolishment of these terrible weapons. I'd also like to call upon the citizens of the states that have nuclear weapons for them to change their perspective, to realize that their idea that nuclear weapons are a guarantee of their security is something that I would like them to change, and for them to not rely upon the flawed idea of nuclear deterrence.
その意味で、この度ノーベル平和賞を ICAN が、受賞したということは、私ども被爆者も心から喜んでおります。一層の奮闘をしていきたいというふうに思っております。どうもありがとうございました。
I would like to congratulate ICAN on receiving the Nobel Peace Prize. It's something we're very, all of us, all the hibakusha are extremely happy about, and it gives us motivation to continue the fight.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tanaka. We'll pass over now to Mr. Kido, who was 5 years old when the bomb hit in Nagasaki.
どうも、私は5歳の時、2キロメートルの路上で被爆いたしました。
I was 5 years old when I experienced the nuclear bomb. I was on the street around 2 kilometers from the hypocenter.
それで顔半分やけどいたしました。翌日爆心地を通って避難したんですけれども、私の目に入ったものは全く何もなくなった消え去った町と、行ってもゴロゴロ横たわった死体と、それから水を求める人の群れでした。
Half of my face was badly burnt, and the next day as I walked through the center of the city past the hypercenter, I saw a terrible scene. The scenes that were burnt into my eyes was the fact that the city was completely gone, that there were bodies lying around all around me, and there were groups of people asking for water.
その時から被爆者はこんなことは絶対に起こってはいけないと思い、1956年に結成した日本被団協は、自らを救うとともに私たちの体験を通して人類の危機を救おうと近い今日まで一貫してその実現のために奮闘してまいりました。
Since 1956, when the Hidankyo was brought into being, we have tried to fight not only for our own rights, but also to save humanity from the same fate that we experienced all those years ago. And this has been the guiding light for the Hidankyo ever since.
2017年の今年は核兵器の禁止条約の採択によって歴史に刻まれる、記憶される画期的な年になりました。
This year, on the 7th of July, a historical treaty to ban nuclear weapons was formed. And I think that makes this year an extremely historical one that will be recorded in the annals of history.
でさらに ICAN にノーベル平和賞が与えられたこと、心から喜んでおります。
This year also saw ICAN receive the Nobel Peace Prize, which I welcome with all my heart.
で、ICAN と日本被団協は二人三脚で核兵器の廃絶のために一緒に運動してまいりました。そしてこの禁止条約を 制定するその力を尽くしたことに対してと、これから廃絶へ向けて ICAN、特に若い人々が、ね、その実現のために奮闘することを求めてといいますか、期待して賞を与えられたと思っています。
ICAN and the Hidankyo have cooperated hand in glove over the years to bring about the abolition of nuclear weapons. And this nuclear weapons ban treaty, which was recently agreed upon, is something that I think we have. I'm hoping that the future generations will take that forward and not only ban nuclear weapons, but that they will be removed from the face of the earth. I hope very much that ICAN will continue its activities, and also that the young people of the world will take this forward and remove nuclear weapons from the face of the planet.
正直言いますと、ICAN とともに日本被団協に賞が与えられておれば、どんなに最高の喜びだったんじゃないかと思います。
I can receive this, but I would have been even more excited and moved if the Hidankyo had received the Nobel Peace Prize.
と申しますのは、やっぱりあの時の先ほど申し上げました命を奪われた方々のことが思い出されます。そしてこの核兵器をなくす、被爆者を二度と作らない、再び作らないということで、日本被団協で本当に運動してこられた先達、顔がいろいろと浮かんでまいります。で、日本被団協へもし賞が与えられたら、そういった人々全体への賞だという思います。そうしますと ICAN と日本被団協、若者と、そしてこれまでにそのために命を懸けた人々全体に対する賞を与えるということだったという具合に思い、やっぱり一緒に欲しかったなという思いです。
Having seen ICAN receive this prize, it brings to mind all of the people who lost their lives in the bombing all those years ago, and also the people who have spent their life calling for the abolition of these weapons. We of course have cooperated with ICAN very closely, but it really brings to mind a lot of the people who I have worked very closely with. If Hidankyo was to have received the Nobel Peace Prize, I think that would have been a vindication and a prize that would have been given to all of those people who have cooperated with us over the years. And so I would have liked, if it was possible, for us to receive the Nobel Peace Prize together with ICAN, but that was not to be.
最後になりますけれども、唯一の戦争被爆国日本政府がこの核兵器禁止条約署名しないとに、私は恥ずかしく悲しく腹立たしく思っています。そして北朝鮮の脅威を煽って対話ではなくて制裁と圧力でと言っておりますけれども、それでは問題は解決しない。むしろそのことが人々を危険にさらしているのではないかという具合に思います。それで私は北朝鮮、アメリカと北朝鮮との激しいやり取りやってますけれども、脅威、これをなくすのはこの禁止条約を全ての国が、アメリカが、そして北朝鮮が結ぶこと、それが解決の道だという具合に思っております。どうもありがとうございました。
In closing, I would like to say that Japan, the only country that has experienced a nuclear attack in a time of war, having that country not participate in the nuclear weapons treaty and to not sign it is something that is not only embarrassing and sad, but also makes me very angry. I'm sad to see that the current political climate is one in which the threat of North Korea is being inflamed, and that there is no movement towards dialogue. The only response has been more sanctions and more pressure to be put upon the North Korean regime, and I can't see that that would lead to any resolution of these matters. In fact, I think it does quite the opposite, and it puts us in even greater danger. I hope that North Korea and the United States of America will participate in this treaty and engage in a dialogue to come to a peaceful resolution of these matters. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kido. We have just under half an hour for questions. That's a fairly large audience. So first we'll open up to press for questions. So if you have a question, please come up to the front.
My name is Richard Tusilo from Indonesia. Since your executive director, Ms. Beatrix Finn, mentioned twice the name of Nagasaki and Hiroshima, I would like to ask Mr. Kawasaki maybe to answer this one. And you went to the headquarters also, and I believe you met also the executive director. Is there a kind of way of thinking to distribute clearly and finally for the people, for the advantage, for the merit of people of Hiroshima and Nagasaki from this Nobel Prize money? Have you think about this one? Most of this money will belongs to the people, especially for the victims of the nuclear bombs of Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for the question. Actually,
sorry, did you want to?
Should I do this in Japanese over the loudspeaker?
If they'd like to answer as well,
Okay.
maybe.
はい、それではインドネシア出身の記者で、すいません、名前は、聞いていませんでした。What's your name? はい、スシロー・リチャールというインドネシアの記者なんですけれども、まず ICAN がノーベル平和賞を受賞しまして、大変嬉しく思っておりまして、川崎さんが、ICAN の事務局長のフィンさんに、何度か会ってるかと思いますけれども、ICAN は、ノーベル平和賞を受賞して、大量のお金をもらうことになるかと思うんですけれども、それをどういうふうに分配するのかを聞きたいと思います。被爆者、長崎の被爆者に分配するつもりなのか、どういうふうにそのお金を使うのか聞きたいと思っております。
Thanks for the question. Actually, all the members of the ICAN have been very, very busy after the announcement of Nobel Peace Prize, and we have not had any discussion regarding what to do with the prize money. No discussion, no plan at all at this stage, so I cannot comment on that. Thanks for the question.
Next question. Are you from the press? Okay, please come up.
AP 通信の瞳と申します。2つあります。まず1つはアリゾナ記念館で原爆展が検討されているという報道がありますが、これについては何らかの確定があるかというのをご存知ですかということと、あともう1つ言及がございましたが、北朝鮮の言及がございましたが、実際にワシントン DC その他で原爆展をなさったり、被爆者の方が何度もアメリカに渡米して世界中にそれでこういう皆さんの体験を伝えるということを今までしてらしたんだと思います。そして ICAN の方々も同じようにしたんだと思います。その中で北朝鮮にもトリティーにサインをしてほしいとおっしゃってらっしゃいましたが、果たして北朝鮮にはどういうふうに皆さんの体験というか、私も何度も取材で皆さんにお話聞きました。もう本当にやはりその時にとても学びました。で、そういうようなことというのをどうすれば北朝鮮、特に指導者の方たちにどれほど大変なものかひどいものなのか分かってもらえると思われますか。何か手段は考えてらっしゃいますか。
Hello, my name is Hitomi from AP, and I have two questions. The first is with regards to the Arizona Museum in the United States. I believe that they have an exhibition about the nuclear bomb, and I think that that is something that's not quite decided yet? Do you know if it has been decided? That's my first question. And the second is with regards North Korea. I know that there have been many exhibitions in Washington, D.C. about the nuclear bomb, and many hibakusha have gone to the United States to give their experiences and also done so through ICAN. But how do you think it would be possible to deliver your voices and your experiences to North Korea? I know that you mentioned that you wanted North Korea to sign the nuclear weapons ban treaty, but how do you convey the messages which I've heard from you, I have learnt from you in the past, about what you have experienced in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but how can you get these voices to North Korea, especially to the leadership? How can you get them to understand the inhumanity of these weapons?
北朝鮮については私どもも何らかの方法で、被爆者が訪ねていって、原爆の被害の恐ろしさ、非人道的な、ことというのを伝えたいと思って、いろんな努力をしてきていますが、現実に、それは不可能であります。で、一つは日本と北朝鮮が国交を回復してないということが最大の、私たちは障壁になっていると思ってるんですけども、これは本当に世界中の人たちの努力でですね、実現できるように、していきたいなというふうに思ってます。
First of all, with regards visiting North Korea, of course, I would very much like somehow to visit North Korea and explain the awesome terribleness of these weapons, how inhumane they are. And I've been working to make this possible, but unfortunately it's not been something I've been able to bring about. And I think that the main reason that has been difficult to achieve is because Japan and North Korea do not have diplomatic relations at this point. So I think I need to call upon the people around the world to assist us in this matter.
私は一気にこう解決するというなんか特効薬といいますか、そういうのはちょっと見出し得ませんけれども、日本政府が私たちがですが最も親しい同盟国としてのアメリカと、そして北朝鮮にはね、やっぱり隣国というかお隣の最も近い国ですよという態度で禁止条約を結ぶようにということを働きかける、そこに日本政府の最も大きな役割があるのではないかと。すぐには解決といかないかもしれませんけど、そのことがやっぱりこの本質的な解決につながるのではないかという具合に私は感じています、考えています。
I'm not sure that there is a silver bullet that can be used to a silver bullet that can be used to solve the issue of North Korea, but I think that the Japanese government has a role as a country that is extremely close to its ally, the United States, and also a country that is geographically very close to North Korea. I think if we keep this in mind and use that special position and also participate in the nuclear weapons ban treaty, then we can have some impact upon North Korea and fulfill our role in bringing about a peaceful solution to the situation on the Korean Peninsula.
アリゾナのことでご質問があったんですけども、具体的にはちょっと存じ上げていないんですが、あれと一緒ですかね、2015年にね、NPT の会議に行った時に博物館を作る理事長さんとお会いしたことがあるんですけど、同じ組織ですかね、ちょっと分かんない。その時申し上げたのはやっぱり事実関係、何をやっぱり核兵器、原爆は人間に何をもたらしたかということを考えさせる事実をきちんと展示しるような、そういう博物館といいますか、 そういうのを作ってほしいという具合に訴えてまいりました。その会に出たのは同じ被団協の藤森さんと、それから長崎の友永先生、それから長崎市長は一緒にその懇談をしたことをで、私たちはやっぱり事実をきちっと見てほしいということを訴えております。
With regard to your question about the museum in Arizona, I'm not 100% sure about what you're referring to, but in 2015, at the time of the NPT review conference, I did meet with a person who was the leader of a museum in the United States. I think maybe that's the museum to which you're referring to, but I'm not exactly sure. But what this person said is that he would like to form a museum to present the facts of nuclear weapons, to explain what effects nuclear weapons have upon the human body and make people think more deeply on the issue. At this time, I visited the head of the museum along with my colleague Fujimori-san, who is a member of the Hidan Kyo, also Ms. Tomo Naga-san from Nagasaki, and the mayor of Nagasaki. And we concurred that it was important for the facts of nuclear weapons to be presented at such a museum.
Next question.
This is Yamasa Ota with Kyodo News, and my question would go to maybe Mr. Kawasaki. This prize always, it's accompanying some political message, and in the context of especially the increasing the risk of the North Korea, Mr. Trump is always repeating a very dangerous message, and the fire and the fury and totally destroy the North Korean regime. And also Mr. Abe, at the time of the election, he said we have to protect this nation. That's the reason why we have to increase the pressure. Just only a pressure. So in this context, what kind of message was conveyed by this, committee, peace committee, to ICAN or Hibakushisho? What the fundamental message of the, peace prize? That's my question. Thank you very much. And おめでとうございました。
So thanks. Thank you for the question. Well, yes, it is true that the Nobel Peace Committee's announcement includes a reference to the North Korean situation, so there should be a clear message on that. So the putting a focus on nuclear weapons prohibition treaty in relation to the situation in North Korea is, I think, that Nobel Committee is trying to provide the pathway to go to, direction to go to for a real solution of this problem. Now, states surrounding North Korea is always talking about disarming North Korea. So the North Korea is a bad country, so we need to disarm. But the real issue is that nuclear weapons are bad weapons. So we need to eliminate the bad weapons. And there's no right hand on wrong weapons. So, but now, internationally, or even in the media world, the discussion is very much twisted. They are focusing on how bad North Korea is as a nation. And they are forgetting about how bad nuclear weapons are as a weapon. So the Nobel Committee is trying to refocus on the real problem of nuclear weapons. Yes, of course, North Korea's nuclear weapons are maybe 10 or 20. It is posing serious threat. But as of today, 15,000 nuclear weapons exist today and threatening the very survival of humanity all over the world, not just limited in the North Korean Peninsula or Northeast Asia. So that focus is the message, and complete prohibition and elimination of nuclear weapons is the real pathway to go to, the real direction to go to. And so with this clear message, we NGOs will redouble our efforts to make the right way to the real solution.
Next question. Any other press questions for now? If we've got nobody else, I'll go to you again. Sure.
I want to talk about the reality. I'm supporting very much the disarmament of this new weapon, 100%. I am supporting you. But looking to the reality, this is about elections, Japan election right now. You will coming to all the parties in Japan. So suppose there is a leader who would like, okay, I will support you, and on this election time, I will say that if I win the election and become the prime minister, Japan will join this treaty. But these people actually, and precisely, I don't think Abe-san will say that he will support this treaty. So it means other politicians there is a opportunity to say, okay, I will support the treaty. So if these people win the elections and become the prime minister, but he or she could not play this country very well, are you still supporting these people? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for the question. I think that the point that you made is all about politics. Politicians always make some commitment and change. So not limited to nuclear weapons issues. So there is a trick. So we shouldn't believe in them totally. However, raising questions and make some verbal commitment is the first step. And I think this comes back to the previous question about the message from Nobel Committee. Actually, another important message of the Nobel Committee is that we need to revitalize the discussion and generate awareness of people. Back in 1980s, when I was junior high school student, there was big mass movement on nuclear weapons, and people are really frightened about nuclear weapons. But now, people are feeling something like, oh, okay, those threats are over. It's gone. It's just a minor issue. It's just an issue of a very crazy country like North Korea. That's a very general, commonly held views. So, and Hibakusha, or people in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, have been thinking over and over and talking about over and over. But here in Tokyo, or in Washington, or many parts of the world, the major cities, they totally forgot already. So the refocus on that, hey, these nuclear weapons are posing serious threat as of today. This is the message. So, we need to redouble our voice so that even politicians who may be very much tricky will have to follow the people's voice. So I'm very much optimistic that with this great prize, the momentum is with ours.
Any other questions, please?
この度はおめでとうございます。いくつか簡単な事実確認の、質問をさせていただきたいと思います。日本人のお三方なんですけれども、川崎さんの年齢とか出身であったりだとか、そういったことをすみません、お伺いできたらなと思います。で、お三方はそれぞれ年齢と出身をちょっと言っていただけたら。
First of all, congratulations on the Nobel Peace Prize, but I would just like to ask a few questions about facts. First of all, can I ask of the three people on the stage, their age and where they're from?
I'm from Tokyo, and I'm 48 years old now.
77歳です。1940年1月21日生まれです。長崎。
I'm 77 years old. I was born on the 21st of January 1940, and I'm from Nagasaki.
1932年4月生まれです。被爆地は長崎ですけども、生まれたのは今の中国の東北部であります。
中国の東北部ですね。
旧満州という、
I was born in April of 1932. I was in Nagasaki at the time of the bombing, but actually I was born in the northeast of China in the former state of Manchuria.
すみません、もう一点加えてなんですけど、木戸さんと田中さんの、所属っていうのは日本被団協ということですよね。お二人は何年間活動されてたんですか？
My next question is to Mr. Kido and Mr. Tanaka. I believe that you are members of the Hidankyo, which is the Japan Confederation of A and H bomb sufferers organizations. Can I ask how long you've been working with that organization?
私は40数年、被団協のさまざまな活動をやってきました。
I've been active with Hidankyo for over 40 years.
私は被団協の運動に関わったのは1991年から、そして、なんて言いますか、役員として、携わったのは2006年から。
I've been active at the Hidankyo since 1991, and I became a member of the board from the year 2006.
日本被団協と ICAN がこうタッグを組んで活動し始めたっていうのは大体何年ぐらいからなんですかね？
Can I ask how long the cooperation between the Hidankyo and ICAN has been in force, in effect?
I understand that Peaceboat joined ICAN in the year 2010, and the Peaceboat as the only Japanese organization in the leadership of ICAN, that activity started in 2010. So I think since then, the Nihon Hidankyo and ICAN is in a real, very close partnership and collaboration.
ありがとうございました。
Okay, please.
My name's Joan Anderson from Sokugakai. Many congratulations. I am very moved to be able to celebrate this great achievement with you today. And I just have a question. We've also been involved in this challenge of education and awareness raising, and I just have a question about what you see, maybe to any of you who'd like to answer. How can we build on this momentum in terms of education and awareness raising? And it would seem that particular groups that could do more would include, for instance, like us, faith-based groups, the media, and as you mentioned, the youth. So I have a question as to whether you think there are specific initiatives which could be valuable at this point to build on the momentum from faith groups, media, and youth in particular. Thank you.
創価学会のジョン・アンダーソンと申します。まず、おめでとうございます。我々の組織も、核兵器禁止に向けての取り組みを、長年にわたってやってきましたけれども、例えば、啓発だとか、そして、核兵器の非人道性などについての認識を高めることに、向けての、活動をしてきました。で、私の質問は、このノーベル平和賞を受賞して核兵器をなくす機運が高まっている中、この教育活動、啓蒙活動をどういうふうに進めたらいいな、どういうふうにさらに効果的なものにすればいいのか話したいと思います。特に我々のような宗教活動をしている団体、そしてメディア、そして若者というグループは大きな役割があるのではないかと思うんですけれども、これらのグループはどう取り組んでいけばいいのか、具体的なアドバイスをいただきたいと思っております。
Yeah, thanks for the question. So to begin with, I think this Peace Prize is a very great moment to reach out to those people who have not been talking about this issue. There's within the community we have talked a lot, more than enough already, and we know all about nuclear weapons. But now already in the past week, since the announcement of the Nobel Peace Prize, I see many people who are not talking about the issue started to talk. And for example, on Facebook, Twitters, and I see many new people talking about it, discussing about it. This is a very good trend. So we need to reach out to them more and reach out to NGOs who are not peace NGOs, rather like maybe environment NGOs or social welfare groups and so on, human rights groups. And in that way, we can promote this issue more and more. And I believe the faith-based group, religious group, have a very important role to play because you are covering ordinary citizens from the very general viewpoint of ethics or humanitarian perspective. So it's not a political issue between North Korea and the US. Rather, it's an issue of human survival for the global community. So we already, SGI is one of the important partners of ICAN, and we are partnering with many other religious groups, but it's a high time to strengthen such cooperation further. Thank you very much for your question.
We probably have time for one more question. Does anyone? Oh, yeah. Please go ahead.
共同通信の西と申します。この度はおめでとうございます。すみません、他の、記者会見とかで何度も聞かれたかと思うんですけども、フィン事務局長が、12月10日の授賞式にはぜひ被爆者の方もお越しいただきたいというふうにおっしゃってましたが、行かれるご予定、意思がございますかどうかで、これもちょっと言わずの何の質問かと思うんですけども、その場に、もし出席されるんであれば、世界に向けてどういうメッセージを発したいのか、以上です。
Hello, I'm Nishi from Kyodo News, and first of all, I'd like to say congratulations. And I've been to several of your press conferences, and I also heard from the head of ICAN, Ms. Finn, that she would like to go in the presence of Hibakusha to the award ceremony for the Nobel Peace Prize on the 10th of December this year. I'd like to ask, will you be going? And if you do, what will your message to the world be?
日本被団協が受賞したら、ツアーを組んでいこうという計画はございました。しかし、この場合ICANが受賞者でありまして、私とも協力一緒に運動してきましたけれども、招待の数はですね、おそらく ICAN に伝えられているんですね。何人出席してもらえると。それによりますので、ぜひICAN にもですね、被爆者をたくさん読んでいただければありがたいということは伝えたいと思っております。
If the Hidankyo itself had received the Nobel Peace Prize, then I would have made sure that we had a large tour group that would go to Norway to receive it. But in this case, it was ICAN that received the Nobel Peace Prize, and I think even though we have been cooperating with them, it is that organisation that has the invitations. I'm not sure how many tickets, invites they will have to the ceremony, but if I could ask for ICAN to invite some of us Hibakusha, we'd be very, very happy to go, but it very much depends upon them.
Yeah, so just to clarify, firstly, as our Executive Director Beatrice Finn has made clear, it is the ICAN is really totally committed, or very much, we desire to have a Hibakusha's presence in the ceremony, firstly. And, but at the same time, we are still in the communication with Nobel Committee of Oslo about the number of people who can participate and the modality of the ceremony. We are now talking about that. So it's too premature to indicate the form or like a number of the Hibakusha be available to be in Oslo ceremony.
I just wanted to finish by asking Mr. Kido and Mr. Tanaka. Since 1945, you would have seen more countries have developed nuclear weapons. There have been times when these issues might seem intractable or even, if I dare to say, impossible to solve. How do you keep hope? I would like to find out how you have managed to keep the drive to campaign on this issue. Thank you.
一番最初に申し上げましたけれども、核兵器は絶対に使ってはいけない、核兵器は人類と共存できない兵器であるというふうに確信していますので、それを実現するためにはあらゆる努力を注がなければいけないというのが私の人生観でありましたので、それが私を推してくれてきました。
First of all, as I mentioned at the beginning of my speech, my principle is that nuclear weapons must never be used. They are a form of weapons that cannot coexist with humanity. And this conviction is something that has given me strength, and I have been working to bring that about, bring that to a reality. It's actually been my life work.
私は77歳と言いましたから、戦後の歴史と私の歩みがこう重なってくるわけですけども、その中で本当に素朴に感じることが、あの時1945年核保有国は1国だったと、それが9カ国に増えたではないか、本当に1、2発だった核兵器が一時は7万発、今減らしたとはいえ1万5000発もあると。そして安全保障上核兵器が必要だというけども、この72年間戦争をなくすことはできていないと。そういう意味で核兵器がその安全保障にはつながっていないんだと。で、今田中が申しましたように、核兵器は人類とは共存しないということで、ある研究者がとにかく核兵器のない世界を求めて被爆者は愚直に求めてきたと言ってますけども、その通りこれからもそのために努力をしていきたいと。それからもう一点付け加えることがありますけども、後で。はいはい。
I myself am 77 years old, and so my life has played out over the background of post-war history. Looking back to 1945, at that point, there was only one country that had nuclear weapons. Now that's gone up to 9. There was only 1 or 2 nuclear weapons at the beginning of this era, but it went up to several hundreds of thousands of weapons at the height of the Cold War, and then is now down to around 15,000 nuclear warheads. And so the idea has been that national security is progressed by the possession of nuclear weapons. But throughout the history of the last 72 years, we can see that the world has not been able to end wars. And so there's no correlation between the existence of nuclear weapons and the security of the world. As my colleague Mr. Tanaka just said, these are weapons that cannot coexist with humanity. And this is a very simple-minded and very straightforward message, which I and the members of Hidan have been expressing for all these years. I'd like to add one more thing.
皆さんにお願いですけども、被爆者は現在、約16万人ちょっとの数です。そして平均年齢は81歳と。で、本当に残り少なくなったんですけれども、先ほど教育の問題が出ましたけど、ぜひ被爆者の話をお聞きくださいと。で、私自身は体さえ空いておれば、日程さえ空いておれば必ず話に行くことにしています。そういった人々がかなり動けなくなっている人もいるんですけども、各県に被爆者の会があります。そこに連絡を取っていただければ話が聞くことができると思いますので、ぜひ話を聞いて事実を知ってほしいということをそういう機会をですね、皆さん求めていただきたいという具合にお願いを いたします。
In closing, I have a request of all of you. The number of hibakusha currently alive is around 160,000 people, but the average age is 81 years old, and so there's not much time left to meet directly with these hibakusha. Before we had some discussion about the importance of education, and that's something I'd like to stress. I would like to request all of you to listen to our story. If I have the time and a place, I will come to speak to anyone about my experiences. And this is something that's important to be done before the hibakusha are too old to be able to do so. And there are sessions, testimony sessions in all prefectures of Japan. So if you just please contact us, we will give you the information, and we very much ask for you all to come to listen to our story and to learn about the facts. That is what I would like to ask of all of you.
Well, thank you very much to all of our speakers today. We have, as a token of appreciation, we have honorary memberships of the FCCJ to offer to Mr. Kawasaki, Mr. Tanaka and Mr. Kido. Thank you once again for your presentations, and I'd like to also thank Matt Douglas for interpreting today. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
どうもありがとうございました。
Thank you very much.
どうも。田中さん。
終わり。